Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back, and we are back to the Ultimatum, Marry or Move On, and we are looking at season 2 and we are on episode 3. Now before I get into episode 3, as always said, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know when I am back on and doing videos. So let's get into it. So what we already know is that Lisa and Brian were missing from the choices table basically, and decided that they didn't want to go back and tell the other parties why they were no longer going through the experiment. As we know, Lisa took a pregnancy test that morning and found out she was pregnant, and this is the point where she's getting to tell Brian. So Brian comes into the room and they start to have their chat. Now key point was Lisa wanted marriage before she had children. Now the universe has taken that choice out of her hands completely, so she cannot be governed by the ultimatum or giving him the ultimatum no more, because having a baby changes things within that relationship and the dynamics and how Brian is going to move after having that information provided to him. So Lisa tells Brian basically, and I have to say at first I was kind of like, his reaction was kind of piss poor for me. Like at the beginning his reaction was kind of piss poor, and I'm like, really? Is this how you're going to react when your woman's just told you that she's pregnant and that's what you wanted anyway? But then he redeemed himself by getting all excited and he was happy basically, and talking to her belly, and she's saying like, you know, she's only a couple of weeks along, so baby's not going to be hearing anything. But he was well excited at the end of the day. But all I would say is the baby does not fix the problem that is between them two. And the problem between them two that I've seen thus far is the way in which they communicate with each other, where Brian offers her no type of reassurance when her emotions are heightened in any sort of way. And Lisa, I'm sorry, because I believe it's part of her character, will resort to physical violence towards someone if she's feeling that she's disrespected in every type of way. So how they're gonna come and meet in the middle in order to have this baby in a good environment, I do not know, but more power to them. So basically Brian did make the joke that he's now off the hook for the ultimatum. Lisa did not find that funny in one way, shape or form, because Lisa is still looking for marriage. So Brian should not get it twisted in that scenario, because Lisa is still looking for marriage. Baby or not, she's still looking for marriage, and she's still going to expect that from Brian at the end of the day. But I don't think it's going to come quick enough for her, to be honest. But as I said, more power to them, and I hope things work out between them. So basically it goes back to then the dinner party where the others are picking their choice. My pet peeve is when, yes, something may have happened within the program, but it's when you discuss that person or people when they're not there in order to offer any type of explanation or defend themselves in any way. Whereas Trey was saying that Lisa was basically, things got too much for Lisa in the way that she reacted, and then they explained what happened at the cocktail night between them and with how it affected all the others. But my thing is you can't give excuses to the choice and the behavior that Lisa displayed, especially towards Brian. You cannot give excuses for that type of behavior, because she had no right to put her hands on dude, because if he had put his hands on her, best believe everything would have got blown the fuck up. And I mean, people would have been involved. I mean, producers may well have been involved. He would have been off that show quick smart along with Lisa. And this is what I'm saying, the way how they reacted with Lisa being physical violent to Brian wouldn't have been the same to how if Brian had done it. And I don't think that's fair in the slightest. So there's no excuse, I'm sorry, for putting your hands on nobody, no matter how irate you may be, no matter how you cannot cope with the situation, and the fact that you were the one that brought your man here because you wanted to get married to this man. You understood the terms and conditions of the ultimatum, because I'm sorry, you don't go in there blind. You just don't go in there blind. Yes, you may not have been expecting the impact that it did have on you, but out of all of that, there's still no excuse of you putting your hands on someone. So then we get into the choices, and Trey picks Ryan, which we know was going to happen anyway, because if Lisa was there, he more than likely may have leaned towards Lisa, but she wasn't the choice in all of this. We know that Rhea picked James. She had no choice but to pick him, because if Brian was there, she more than likely would have leaned more towards Brian. We know that Roxanne and Alex became a couple. And we know that Kat and Antonio became a couple as well. So those were the 4 couples. Now, my thing is they will sit there and talk and give their spiel in regards to the people that they're interested in and why they're going to couple off with these people. But the partners sit there with the most sour face of all, as if to say, I don't like what I'm hearing. How are you seeing this person the way that you're seeing this person? How are you so comfortable with this person? I just don't like what I'm seeing in the slightest. And I'm like, if you were the ultimatum giver, then understandably you brought the person to the show, you applied for the show. But then also the person who received the ultimatum, you didn't have to come on this show. Like, you could have said no, you're not going to go through with that, but you decided as your joint application with the person who was giving you the ultimatum to go on this show. So again, you're not naive to the rules and boundaries of the show at all and how it works. So that's why I'm saying you need to either have a good resilience, a good cast iron fucking, what do I want to say? Good cast iron stomach in that sense, and be able to be open to the fact that yes, it's hard to see, and yes, it'll be hard to hear, but you know other people are going to see your partner in a different way, and you must be open to the fact that they're going to talk about and gush about your partner in a completely different way, which is also going to make you feel all these types of freaking emotions, biggest one being jealousy, but then it's how you move accordingly and react to that situation as it's happening. Like, me myself, I suppose it's easier said than done. Me myself, if I was in that position and I was sitting there listening to someone like telling all the good parts or how they've relaxed with that person, my partner's relaxed with that person and done X, Y, and Z, I probably would have been there just like, is it now? Okay. But yes, so I get some of the stink faces, but it's to be expected at the end of the day is what I'm saying. It's to be expected, and you have to at least prepare yourself emotionally going in to deal with the shit that comes out. All I will say in this bit is Alex is weird. Alex gives me vibes. Like, gives me not nice vibes either, like weird vibes, because it's when he turned around and made the comment about he was excited for Kat to date like Antonio and all this, that and the other, and Kat replied, well, I at least wanted you to be jealous. That man's weird. Alex is weird. He ain't with the vibe he's giving off. It's just giving me vibes like And then I was sitting there like, when he kept on saying that, I was like, are you okay, Alex? Like, is everything okay with the way that you see things and the way that your mind is computing things? Yes, I understand you have to have a resilience in terms of like the way your partner speaks about somebody else that isn't you. But my God, he showed no emotion. He was just indifferent, like completely indifferent to Kat. And all I thought was, Kat, that man don't like you. Like, really, when and truly, Alex does not like Kat. He really does not like Kat. She's just a holding place for him. That's how I'm seeing it, because he shows no emotions towards her. His attitude is stank, like really bad. He's totally weird, and he couldn't wait for her to start dating someone else. And when she speaks about wanting to get married, he doesn't show that he even likes the girl, let alone wants to marry her at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't understand why he's on this show, to be fair. I really don't understand why he's on this show. And I hope Kat can see him for what he is, but I have a feeling that she won't. So now we know whose couples are in, and they all go off with each other and move into their apartments. There isn't really much that I can say in regards to how they are when they move into their apartments. That comes on in further episodes. So basically the only difference is that when Rhea and James moved in with each other, he became very standoffish and very closed, to the point that he decided to go out for a run when Rhea was going to bed, and she said fine, because she had no choice but to wait for this man anyway. So he went out for a run, but it was a funny run because the man was on the phone to his friend. The man was on his phone to his friend, basically saying how this experiment is literally fucking him up, like completely fucking him up, because he was not prepared to hear somebody else highlight Ryan in the way that they did. Because I think that he is just with her because all she does is think about James. All she does is think about James. How can I make his life better? What can I do for him to make him happy? But he doesn't do the same for her. He doesn't reciprocate in that sense. That's the feeling that I'm getting from James. And now I think he's got to the point where he's kind of realizing exactly what it is that he could be losing, or who he is that he could be losing through this experiment. And it's literally fucking with his mind. Basically, it's completely fucking with his mind, to the point where he's literally gonna put a barrier and a blockade in place when it comes to Rhea. And that is where I'm going to end this episode for now, and I'll be back quickly with the next one. As I always say, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button, and do all the other things that you can do. And I'll be back on your screens very soon. Peace out.